Really weird. Oh
Hello.
my gosh. Even before
Hello.
we got on here, my cereal just burst out and all over the floor earlier.
Wait,
Wow.
what?
Weird. It was weird. I was like, it's a confetti of cereal all over the floor. But anyway,
Was it the
We
the,
made
the
it.
blueberry?
you know what? It was me trying to fix my shirt, and then I knocked the spoon over, and I told my daughter, I was like, you know what? I guess they're saying they're excited. Everybody's excited. And now all
We are
these audio
excited.
calls. So I'm so sorry, everybody.
Oh my gosh. Actually, before we start, Lynn, do you want to
Yeah.
say what you just shared before, like when the headphones weren't working?
Okay, yeah. So we were having a lot of audio technical problems with my headphones. So the headphones weren't connecting, and then it was just going back and forth between the mic and the headphone. Then all of a sudden it was like you lost connection with the right microphone. And then I had to switch everything. And I was like, I have a feeling. I was telling Randy and I was like, I have a feeling they don't want me to wear headphones and earbuds because nothing was connecting. And I know I'm not that dumb when it comes to tech, but like even everybody's like, do this, do that. I'm like, I know settings. I can go into the audio. I can try all that. And then all of a sudden I switched the browsers and I was like, can you hear me? And then all of a sudden I was like, yeah. And I'm like, I really don't think they want me to wear this. And now it's working. But it took that long to figure out, as spiritual as we are, took 15 minutes to figure it out.
Yeah. Yep.
But they don't care about our heads apparently. I'm
No,
just kidding.
Yeah. Yeah. They're just like
Lynn doesn't wear headphones. So it's like,
It did look very foreign. It looked very strange on you, so
okay.
it makes sense. Well, hello everybody. Welcome to the very first episode of Paranormal Pinays. Pinays? Paranormal Pinays.
Mhm.
I am Sapphire Sandalo, and if you're watching on my YouTube channel, you probably already know me. So I'm going to hand it over to Rannie and Lyn to introduce themselves and talk a little bit about your connection to the spirit world.
I'm Rannie AuGoGo. I am a priestess. I work with spirits every day. I do spiritual healing. I teach about spirit stuff. Yeah, I'm pretty much very connected. That's all I have to say about that.
She's very powerful. Let me just edify that
Mm-hmm.
woman right there because she is supremely connected. So, yeah, I guess that's all you have to say because once you get to know her, that's it, you know? So, but yes, love. I'm just so excited to even be here to be with Sapphire and Rannie. My name is Lyn Pacificar. I'm a Katuuran, a ritualist, a priestess of Mama Guava. I'm also the CEO, founder of Herbalaria. I'm an artist, mother. I have so many roles and titles. So, yeah, I do a lot of work in the spirit realm. Been doing this since I was a young child. It's never been something that was weird or strange in my family, which is really strange as a Filipina who grew up in the diaspora because my dad was a traditional healer and they come from the islands where it's normalized to have folk medicine practitioners and spiritualists. So I'm here to serve in any way I can my community and just share experiences and yeah, be here.
Yay! So I mean, I'm also very excited to be doing this with both of you. You both have been very instrumental on my spiritual journey. So if you're watching and you don't know who I am, I primarily tell stories. I have a paranormal podcast called Stories with Sapphire. I met both of you through doing that podcast, and you both have changed my life. Like, not to be dramatic or anything, but
I
like
don't even say
truly.
before the podcast, sis. Like it was
Mm,
at my
mm.
house.
Oh, right. Yes,
I
yes.
invited her over to my house and I was like, let's go. And it was a full moon ritual. And
Yeah. But that
I was
also
like, why
changed my
not?
life. So how many times can I say you changed my life? But it cannot be said enough. And so it's just really exciting to have the three of us here. We all have like shared heritage and ancestry, and I've just always felt a very deep connection to both of you. And this is just really exciting. Anyways,
Yay.
all right. So to start, I guess I'll keep them anonymous, but somebody very close to me sent me a text earlier today, and let's see, let me pull it up so that I can remember here. So are you both familiar with the St. Jude relic that is going on tour right now.
Oh
Is that,
yeah.
yeah?
Yeah, my
Oh,
mother-in-law went that was nearby at the church right here
oh,
down on Santa Monica. It was also in West Covina. Yeah, I do. It's the hand or some sort of like
the arm.
the arm. My mom, you're not supposed to take a photo of it, but you know my mom's Filipina, she don't care. She's like, "Let me take a photo of it." So like and they say no photos allowed. My mom, because she's also hard of hearing,
Mm.
but I think she also intentionally doesn't want to hear so she can take a photo because she takes those opportunities. She's like, live for today, babies. Like, and that's why she stays as young as she is because she takes opportunities,
Mm-hmm.
and so yeah, I've heard of it. Why? What about it?
Did you go see it too?
No, no.
Relics are weird, by the way. Like, I feel like it's
Okay.
really weird that people collect relics. And they're like, but then I don't know. Maybe when I'm dead, I'm like, hey, here's my knuckle bone.
You
Wear it as a
know?
necklace. You know, my
Yeah.
healing hand. Put it somewhere.
Yeah, I
Use
have
a
a
Yeah.
little
strong
background
hand.
on that.
Oh,
I've been
sorry.
collecting that. I'm sorry, go ahead.
No, go ahead, Lynn.
Oh,
No,
it's in
what
my
Randy was
necrotic.
saying. Oh, Randy's fire, okay? She's fire.
It's all
I'm the
good.
water. I'm just trying to flow in between these two signs here. No, about the relics, because you did get a question about that. And no, I didn't get to see it. However, I do have some relics on me. I don't collect like the bones, but there's like 3 levels, like level 1, level 2, level 3. Level 1 is like, I could be doing it the other way around, but it's like the bone and the actual pieces of the saint. And then you have like one that has touched the skin of the saint, and then one that's touched the coffin of the saint. You know what I mean? So like they level like the different relics. And so yeah, I have a story about that because at the cathedral in downtown LA, they had an exhibition where they had all the relics there, literally. I put my hand to it and I felt this surge of energy go through my hand. I was like, "Oh my god, this is legit." But I also think it's all the veneration and the energy that people put into that
Yes.
particular object that you're
Mm-hmm.
sensing, right? But ever since then, so Saint Lucy is the saint of the blind, or she took her eyes out, or something happened where
Mm-hmm.
her eyes were gouged out. Something had happened where I had ended up getting pink eye or eye infection, and I was like, hey, since you're the saint of this, you think you can help me out with this? And so, but it had, I think, calling upon that particular person's energy did have some sort of resonance with, like, it wasn't just the physical eye, it was like seeing beyond things.
Mm.
And so I think there's some validity to calling on, like, well, obviously we're in the spirit realm, but just asking for help from ancestors, because they're a
Mm-hmm.
form of ancestor too, because they lived a sacred life in some way.
Yeah. So the reason
Absolutely.
oh, go ahead. Raina, do you want to talk a little about more about your
Yeah.
thoughts on
I mean,
relics?
I totally believe in working with deities and spirits for healing, and that's how miracles happen. They happen
Yeah,
every day.
absolutely.
So the reason I brought it up was because this person shared that, let's see, someone that they knew, their friend, was diagnosed with some type of cancer pretty recently, like in June, and
Mm-hmm.
then went to view that relic and then
Mm-hmm.
did another scan, and most of the cancer was just gone. So it was
Mm-hmm.
like truly a miracle.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I guess and I was trying to understand why this text exchange was making me feel weird. Not how do I explain this? Like it because she was trying to get me to join. She's like, I want to go view it. Do you want to like come with me? Blah blah blah. But it felt almost like how do I explain this? Like, oh, don't you want a miracle too? We should like go to this thing, as opposed
Mm-hmm.
to I want to view this item, this relic, because I want to be in its presence, or whatever reason you have, as opposed to
Mm-hmm.
just having it be like a transactional thing. Does that make sense?
I mean,
Yeah,
Jude
that makes
is,
sense.
yeah, he is the saint of impossible cases.
Yeah, I feel that I guess you get out of it what you wish to get out of it or what you want to get out of it. And if you just wanted to venerate it or just experience it, that's fine. And without having to have a transaction, because I think that maybe because you have a more of a spiritual practice where you connect without expectation, almost maybe that's why you felt a little weird. I don't
Maybe
know.
that's why it triggered me. I think it reminded
Yeah.
me of like other people I know, particularly like older people in my family, where it's like, oh, let's like visit the churches so we can make the
Mhm.
wishes. Like, are you familiar with that?
Yeah.
That
I
superstition?
did that all
Yeah.
in the Philippines when I was there recently. Visita iglesia is what they call it. So church
Mm,
visitations.
okay.
But I mean, it's pretty cool. You see ghosts. I saw spirits in some of those old churches. But yeah, to the triggering part about that is especially if you're decolonizing and you really want to come away from the church and somebody's like, here, these things are happening, and I mean, it is what Randy said. It is what you want. So if you want to manifest it, if you're within that frequency of manifesting a miracle,
Hmm.
it'll happen because your belief is so strong. That's why they say your faith in things is important. And I think that definitely echoes Randy's speaking on that type of truth in this universe.
Cool. Well, that was my little thing I wanted to talk about. So, has any what has happened recently for either of you that you'd like to discuss?
Ooh, recently?
Or I
Well, I
mean,
could
you
tell
know.
you a pattern that I've noticed this year in particular is more
Okay.
entity attachments to people, like,
Hmm.
like gnarly entities seeing like, and then just the
Oh,
pattern of like, oh, I've been feeling so drained, I don't feel good, and I'm
yeah.
like, huh, and then I look at them, with my eyes closed, and I'm like, oh, well, that's because you have this. Do you have these pains here? What does your
Hmm.
stomach feel? And so I'm basically telling them all the symptoms of being fed on, fed off of by entities.
Yeah.
And I would say this year, more than any year, has been like pretty gnarly, pretty ugly
Yeah.
things on people.
Yeah.
And why do you think that is?
Hmm. I think that it's because a lot of people are more prone. A lot of people are less grounded because of what's going on globally. People are feeling the chaos that I feel is like kind of orchestrated by those who are in power or in control
Hmm.
to separate people from feeling safe, from feeling love, right? So
Hmm.
that's what I feel. I feel like a lot of people are very I don't know, just feeling very vulnerable,
Yeah.
and that becomes a spiritual issue.
Hmm. Yeah. And just to go on that as well, to add to that, I also think there's been a lot of portal openings in the universe. Like if you've been seeing people leaving this plane, pets leaving this plane, there's like openings everywhere, things also coming in. It's almost like this weird shift in energy. So people understand the good and bad, like if you can even define energy as negative or positive, there's belief systems on that. But I think with the entities that are attaching to people now, that's why I think there's a sudden surge and rise of spiritual practitioners being
Mm.
called forth to no longer hide in the shadows or to be afraid or have imposter syndrome and just be like, look, this is what you've always been doing. This is what you've always existed to be. It hid within you, either through religion or family culture, belief
Hmm.
systems that inhibited your capabilities from being out there to serve humanity. And right now, if you're hearing this and this resonates with you, you're being called now to like step up to the plate. So people like Ranny, myself, we've been doing this for a long time, but we're here to usher or teach. Like she teaches amazing classes. I provide ritual supplies and things. I like being a supplier. I was telling people I'm a spiritual plug because you need
I love
amulets.
your stuff.
Yeah. Like, I got it. I will be your dealer when it comes to spiritual stuff. Trust and believe. I'm getting all that ready for everybody, like for the massive wave of the people that are starting to step forward, all the Reiki practitioners, um all the folks that are doing energetic
This is
work.
from you.
Yes, thank
Oh,
you.
nice.
This is from Herbalaria.
Yes.
One of my favorites. Right here, where I do ritual, where I do sessions.
Yes. Thank
Yeah.
you. I have Rannie's candle on my fire altar, so I got her with me as well. And Sapphire. I got you both with me. Yeah. So that's my take on that one. I just think
Mm-hmm.
there's a lot of people that are, I still think though that some folks are stepping in, and that's just part of the learning process, I think, like where they're exploring what that means to them. Like you could be doing all kinds of spiritual things and being parts of groups, and you learn what works for you and what doesn't. You take what works for you and leave what doesn't. But at the end of the day, you make your magic about you and your magic. That's what
Mm-hmm.
makes you special. And copying other people or trying to emulate other people, it's a first step to understand what that means, but you got to find your own style,
Mm-hmm.
Absolutely. Yeah.
energetic. See, yeah.
Because authenticity is the key to raising your vibration. You can't be authentic if you're trying to be somebody else. So
Mm-hmm.
that's why I like to teach a framework, right? And I say these are different deities that are similar. Which one resonates with you? These are
Mhm.
energies that you can work with. What faces feel right to you? But
Yeah.
it does don't copy exactly what I say. And if something does that I says, that I say doesn't resonate, then throw
Yep.
it out the fucking door, because you are your own person and you have your own path and signature. So absolutely.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And actually, so I have a question for both of you. Um, when it comes to finding a healer to work with, what are some ways that people can discern who is trustworthy or not? Because I've also been noticing a pattern of people that I'm speaking with. Um, there are, I feel like, a lot more people that are preying on vulnerable people. A
Yeah.
lot of people who are instilling fear within others so that they can
Ooh.
keep coming back for sessions.
Mhm. Yeah.
So, what are some of the things that you advise people to look out for? Um, like when they're just starting out on this journey and they're still trying to figure it out, like what are some basic things
Yeah.
they should be aware of?
Stay off of witch talk.
Yes. Oh my God.
Protect your energy first too. Ask your guides to, and a lot of people could really benefit from knowing their self a little bit before jumping in, because then
Mhm.
they'll kind of feel if something's off. Did I
Mhm.
disappear?
No?
No.
Did you?
Okay. Oh, I did. For me, I disappeared. Yeah. Also, uh, I've noticed, yeah, if someone is like, you have to see me again soon, or it's kind of weird. Like, the way I work is I tell them if they're not feeling good, follow their discernment. Because, like, is there a protocol? When can I see you again? Because they feel really good afterward. And I'm like, follow the way you feel.
Mm-hmm.
If you're
Yeah.
feeling off, then you can come see me. But I always tell them to wait at least a month. But,
Mm-hmm.
I'm like, I don't know, like, follow your intuition.
Yep.
um, but yeah,
Agreed.
be careful with, like, seriously, this is a message that has been popping up to me lately, is opening yourself up to other people's energies online that are like, I'm doing this group healing thing. And, you could jump in on that if you feel like it's right. But, I saw some lady who's like cussing her kid out, and then she's like, you're effing up my thing, and like yelling at her kid. And then she's like, okay, anyways. And then she's about to do healing on people. And I'm like,
What?
I don't know about that, you
Mm,
guys.
I
I don't
don't
know about
know.
that.
Maybe she needs to heal herself first before she heals others. I don't know.
That's the way I was seeing it. I was like, ooh, you never
I'm
know,
seeing a
man.
lot of that. I'm seeing a lot of that. For me, if someone says it's $10,000 to lift a curse,
Mm-hmm.
no, do not believe in that. I know some folks, they're like, I paid 10,000 to lift a curse. I'm like, 10,000 to lift a curse. It sounds like you're still cursed if you believe that it takes $10,000 to
Mm.
lift a curse.
Yeah.
I mean, any legit person that can lift a curse will not even ask that from you, like happily. We can try to do protocols, I'll take a donation if you want to do energy exchange, but 10 grand. I mean, come on. I mean, if it's worth that much to you, then you should really look at yourself and really think about that. It's not an investment. It's a
Right.
loss, and a true investment in your spiritual health would mean that you really take care of yourself and you have an awareness of where you're at energetically, and finding the right person is like, if I was going to go see someone. So I have to be energetically almost even at the person who can do my healing. Does that make sense?
Mm-hmm.
So my number one healer and is my husband. So he grounds me. He has access to me in all the ways and all the parts that no one else can. And he's such a grounding manifester person. So that really, I have a built-in healer situation. But if I was going to go outside, I would want someone as powerful as Rannie. I would want someone who doesn't come off as like, woo woo. But even in the Philippines, if you go see someone, they're just in t-shirts, chinelas, which is like sandals, shorts. You go to their house, it's not even like rich looking like this. It's very simple, like we don't have all kinds of deities everywhere. And they just keep it simple. But the energetic healings in the land, if they connect with the land, if they connect with the ancestors, and then how you feel afterwards, and if it's a long-term healing, if you feel complete and really like release, and that's a valid healer.
Yeah, because it also is a relationship. It's not like a one and done. You're developing a relationship with this person. Like I trust both of you, like with my life. So I, feel comfortable coming back to both of you. And also anyone who's just now joining, there was a question in the chat. Are we allowing questions? Yes. If you have, I would love to encourage anyone who has questions, write it in the chat, and then we can hopefully answer it.
Yeah.
I can't see them. She can.
Oh,
yeah.
Oh, wait, you can't. Oh no.
But yeah, I want to also add that, like with a healer, most of my clients, they have found me through their friends and their family. Yeah. So like it started actually with Sapphire. I was on your podcast, and then I got like the surge, and then it was their family, their friends. So if you do have a good healer that you work with, shout them out, your friends and family know, because that is like the main way that we continue doing this, like just from word of mouth.
Yeah, I believe in that. People find me. I don't advertise my services either. It's on my website, but I don't scream it. I don't say it on my Instagram. I don't.
Yeah, the people who are meant to find you will find
you. Yeah,
and they come to you.
Yeah, and the people who have found me are like, I just heard your voice, and I just had to have a session. I just knew it, and I think that's another thing is like real healers and even teachers reflect your heart's desires. So it's just like this knowing that you're just like right there. And I've heard that enough times where like, I get it, because they're like, this might sound weird, but like I felt like I had to do this with you because I saw one of your videos, or I heard you on a podcast, and I listened to the podcast, and I'm all like and saying, and I think it's kind of funny that through that they found me, because to me I'm like, I sound like an asshole sometimes. I don't know. No, I'm joking. I'm just real, I guess.
Yes, and that's what people are resonating with, is the fact that, oh, here's this person who is so relatable and just a person.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I love that and being on the relatable wave is very important, being a healer, because you have to relate to their spirit. But even for me publicly, like just being a mom, a mother, being real, I grew up here in LA. I'm not in some mountain hidden away somewhere, because I had to grow up in the shadows. I had to know what the demons look like. I went through basically all the shit that you have to go through in order to be at this level, to understand other people's demons, to understand where they are, whether it's like mental health issues, drug use, family problems. I used to, I used to speak with people all the time since I was a teenager and just counseling them. People just want to talk to me. And every time they talk to me, they feel lighter. And so my method of healing is very much like, you have to just be with me and talk to me, you know? And that's, you know, and being grounded in that, being grounded in who I am, my identity. I don't question my identity. I don't question if I'm Filipina enough. I don't question if I have spiritual gifts enough. No, I never did. And that's why when you are sure of yourself and you have that strength and you are centered in that, nothing can mess with you. And the one thing that my dad taught me, and today's his death anniversary too, and it's a big day for me. He taught me
Your anniversary.
And it's my 8-year anniversary.
8 years.
Or are you?
Wow.
8 on 26, and we're debuting Paranormal Pinays. This is not a coincidence. But he always taught me this, and this is something I always repeat to people: never be afraid. And he would say that. He'd say, "Wag ka matakot." You have to be brave, you know, and that's been my philosophy ever since. And if there's any goodness he's given to me, like the best lesson, it's been that. Never fear.
Wow, that gave me chills when you said that. And I feel like I've always been that way too as a kid, but nothing scared me. I remember being as little as 3, and if someone upset me, I'm like, you will regret this. I'm like a little kid, like, don't know who I am. But it's like, I was never really afraid. Yeah, I'm just
you're
like,
fire goddess.
This angry 3-year-old.
You're a fire. She's fired.
But now I realize that I am very divinely protected. So people who were fucking with me were messing with fire. And yeah, I'm reactive though. Like I'll be like, ah! Like things can like make me react, but I'm never really scared of anything. Nothing scares me.
That's okay. We can be reactive.
Yeah, I'm fire. I'm like, oh, what the fuck?
I definitely don't have a flight response. I was born with a fight response, so I have to be careful if someone freaks me out, because my fist kind of goes back like I'm a and I'm like, don't ever freak me out, because I like my first thing to do is to punch or to like fight. And I was like, and so I'm trying to, like, I've centered myself enough where I'm like, okay, just think about it first.
That's so interesting. I was such the opposite. I was such a freeze kid. I was like, oh, like just so filled with all of these anxieties and fears. But now I feel like that's what's so cool about life happening, I guess, is that you kind of like make up for, or not make up for. I mean, you did what you had to do to survive as a kid, and then when you're older, you unlearn a lot of the programming that happened. And right now I'm definitely in my era of like, no, I'm not just gonna take it. I'm gonna do something.
Yeah.
All right, we have a question.
Okay.
It's a long one, so this is a 2-parter. From X Brutal Babe X, and you can see it on the screen. Oh, sorry, it's covering our faces. When it comes to people passing on, I believe that their spirit typically stays around for 2 weeks to a month. When mediums speak of messages or connecting with the dead that have passed on years ago, I struggle to understand how they connect with that spirit. I believe in reincarnation or a soul traveling to other worlds, so I'm curious. All right, whoever wants to address it first.
Yeah.
So it's not really a question, more of a comment.
Yeah.
I mean, we can go on. Yeah. Go ahead.
Yeah, a part of your ancestors' spirit will always be around with you. We are composed of many spirits, not just one piece. So when a spirit does move on, and I believe in rebirth and all of that, but I do believe that a piece of our ancestors, a piece of a spirit can still reside and come back too if you ask, right? So that's how people are able to channel these echoes of the past. But in reality, spirit does move into the light and can move into different lifetimes, but a part of them always resides, especially with their family, their ancestors. That makes sense.
Yep.
Yeah.
Total sense. What she was saying about how they linger a little bit for a while, I've experienced that. You know, they do stay around for a little bit and then they leave. I also believe in reincarnation, so not everybody stays. So like I'm going to say this one example because there are women out there who have miscarriages and still mourn, or if a baby dies, they still mourn the baby as if the spirit's on the other side. But it's not always the case because that spirit can also reincarnate. So you might be mourning, what do you call it? A shimmer
Mm.
of that spirit, but that spirit will come back in another way, whether it's like another baby you'll have later, or an animal, a pet that you receive, whatever that means. The spirit world is so vast, we can't fully define what happens. We only know what we know by experience. So from experience, I'm speaking, okay, is that the ones that do stay around tend to want to make sure everybody's okay. Then you get the ones who come into the dreams and say, I'm okay, da da da, I love you. So you'll get the I love you, I'm going to go somewhere, I'm going to be fine. And then you'll hear like either whispers or butterfly signs, dragonflies, you'll get those kind of things. But after a while, after a few years, it starts fading because part of they're there to help you through the grief, but they're also there to teach you that it's time to go. Like they have to let go and they'll see you at another time. And that's okay too, but grief never
Mhm.
goes away. It's like a visitor that once in a while comes over, and it can either be beautiful or it can be painful. But the spirit realm is so vast that,
Mhm.
we can reincarnate, we can stay around. Now, I do feel for the ones that are here and haunting, though. So, which is where I hope
Yeah.
Paranormal Pinays is going to go try to resolve and heal some of those places and
Mhm.
spaces that have these spirits stuck, and why. And that's where I believe we need paranormal psychologists. Like we need to be the counselors to these spirits to give them some sort of peace. And I think that's a wonderful vocation to have.
So like Sixth Sense
Mm.
Yeah. I love
Oh yeah,
Bruce
that
Willis.
movie. Oh man, that was a good movie.
That's a great
Jeez.
It
movie.
really was.
That I was like, holy crap, this is too real. Because that was when I was still trying to not see or acknowledge
Mm.
spirits that I would come in contact with. So
Yeah.
that movie was like, oh, fuck that.
Yeah. Well, thank you for your comment, brutal ex brutal babe X.
Thank you for the
Um
comment.
I think like for me, I feel like just being a person, a human, it is
Mhm.
kind of hard to even grasp the concept of how spirits work. So we can only really explain it with the words and the vocabulary that we have, but it's
Yeah.
so much
Yeah,
more
it's
complicated than that. And I think something that helped me sort of understand it a little bit better is I'm sure you've both have heard of this, how we aren't human beings having a spiritual experience. We're spiritual beings having a human experience. And I
mhm.
sort of view all of consciousness, it's just like we're kind of living in this consciousness soup. And then when we enter the world as a baby, as a physical thing, it's like we just grab a bunch of that soup, and then this constant like rotation. So it's not really like a one to one of like when I die and then my spirit goes to wherever it goes. It's
Yeah.
sort of it's pieces of me all over. I return to the
Yep.
earth. I might be in other people. It's not like a one to one. It's not so
Yes.
defined like that.
Many, yep, many layers, multiple planes of existence, and multiple ways that you can connect. But your heart is the main portal to connect you to spirit and family and things like that. Um, and yeah, when it comes to like the what a spirit being around for a while and moving on, there is that limbo. There's a period where sometimes a person's ancestor or family member will pass on, and I'm like, try not to like communicate with them until like a month later, because sometimes it's too soon
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
they're kind of assholes at that point. They're like, ugh.
Yeah.
They've
What's
got their
going
shit
on?
together yet.
Yeah. 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 I agree with that. And some people have tried to come to me after someone passes away recently. And I'm like, it's a bit soon. I don't
Yeah.
think it's the right time to be a medium for that. Like, because I can speak to the ancestors and hear them. But like, even respectfully, I think they need to go on this journey as a soul, and I'm not here to go,
Mhm.
hey, so what's up, your son wants to talk to you real quick, you know, and that's really hard because then they just transition, and then, you know, they have to be they have to go to the spiritual orientation process. I
Yeah,
like to call it that. Like,
yeah, that's what it is.
there's an orientation desk that you have to go up to and say hi. I just recently passed away. So
It's
anyway,
like
where do I
Beetlejuice.
go? Yeah, like Beetlejuice. There's a truth to Beetlejuice. The underworld Beetlejuice, like the underworld. Oh my God. That's a whole.
Yeah.
So we also believe in the ancestral realm as the lower world and like the upper.
Mhm.
Okay, that's a whole conversation. But I'm just saying. There's so many levels, as Randy said.
Many
Very
levels.
complex. Very complex. But for some reason, it's easy. It's just for me, like to comprehend all that. I'm okay with it. Like I'm not at a loss. I just feel like it's an understanding already.
Yeah.
And they don't teach you that in religion, but I mean a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
Hell purgatory, but that's very basic.
Yeah.
Not even true on some levels either, but whatever. I'm just my opinion.
All good.
Well, that's kind of what I do when I do ancestral healings is
Mhm.
a lot of times there are echoes of a spirit that are in a space that they would consider hell, and I tell them like hell is not meant to be an eternity, is for however long you choose to stay. And then it's
Mhm.
like and then
Mhm.
they move on, and I'm like, that felt good, because
Yeah.
yeesh.
Yeah.
It's like it within the light of creator, that portal can open for the movement of the stuck energies or the stuck
Mhm.
spirits, whatever you want to call it. It's
Mhm.
echoes.
Yes.
Yeah.
Nice.
I want to travel where Ranny travels.
I think you
We
could
go in
handle it.
different realms.
Most people couldn't, but you could.
But I'm actually one who goes in people's dreams. So I talk to people in dreams and I teach in dreams. So I'm not a typical teacher. I have classes. I actually go in I'm more of a teacher in the spirit realm. But Randy knows this.
Yeah, share, Randy, what you were texting me about earlier.
Yeah, so the mala, your spirit self. This
Yep.
was years ago. Yeah.
Mhm.
2019 is when I was trying to channel my ancestors, and they said this is your contact for your ancestors. And I tried googling the name Amala. I was like, nothing was coming up. But I remember I had that message, and then my little sister actually had a dream of you or Amala being underground, the underworld, with
So cool.
teaching her or talking to her. And I was like, look, I showed her my journal that I was trying to find today, and I was like, we met the same entity, so
Mhm.
which is you.
It's me. And that's why, and it's interesting because I am associated with Diwata Comics. And so I created a character, Divina Amala. So before the word Divina was Amala. So I added Divina, so it means divine. And Amala means pure. Like it's very, so anyway, long story short, the dream realms, the different realms that I go into, and Rani and her little sister are witness to this, but there's also a lot of people who have messaged me and said, hey, Lyn, I saw you in dream. You were teaching me. We were going this place. I was like, yeah, this is not unusual for me. So if you see me in dream teaching you, cool. Like, I hope you learned something. I hope I was a great teacher.
Well, I saw you not in a dream, but in a meditation that I was doing when I bought your oil. Yeah, I think it was the Moldavite oil.
Yeah.
I'm gonna say the word wrong.
Was I in dragon form? Or
no, you were a human.
Human form. Okay.
Oh, that's cool. Wait, you show up as a dragon?
A blue dragon, yeah. So the
Wait!
Bakugan was my teacher. What?
Oh my!
What?
Oh! I just got weird chills. Okay.
What is it?
No, because someone had told me that there was a blue dragon around me. This was this was after I met you. Oh, that's weird. Ooh, that's so cool. And I was like, oh, maybe that was Lyn.
Yeah, it is. It is.
There you go. The blue dragon.
I have multiple. I'm telling you, I have multiple existences. It's not just this human form.
Yeah, and that's why it makes sense, like the whole the spirit passes on, and it's like, oh, we are composed of many different things. Our subconscious is so expansive.
Yeah.
what we are doing here in these bodies is like just here and now, but we are in
It's a tiny
multiple
little
places,
sliver of
multiple timelines. That's why it's so hard to explain, because it's like
Yeah. It's
And you
almost
can't make that stuff up because people who say these things don't know each other. It's not
That's
like
true.
they're conspiring to say, hey, tell Lyn that we had a dream about her. Or da, 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 da. And I'm like, and so when it comes to me, I'm like, oh yeah, I just go, yeah, that's what I do. And that's why I appreciate Rannie for teaching classes in this realm, because I don't do it often in this realm. And I appreciate the fact that people who do have these spiritual experiences like you are able to really express that, because it's not something, it takes a certain amount of courage and bravery to come out with saying these things, because you can either be demonized, people can make fun of you, which I'm not really afraid of anyways, because I never attract that. I don't attract that energy. I always give the energy of love, and I respect everybody's belief systems and whatever they want to do. So I think that all of us coming together and just speaking this out loud is the start of helping other people. And I think that's the intention of this container, of our collaboration, of our sisterhood, is that we could do it alone, but it wouldn't be as effective and powerful if we weren't this triune of Pinay goddesses talking about these experiences, so that whoever is hearing this can feel validated and feel brave to do the work that they need to do.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Oh, I got chills again. Lots of chills today.
Chilly day.
Here it's like 100 degrees out here.
So there was
one of my
another
candles is going crazy now too. I wonder if I should put that out. It's like,
oh wow, it's on fire.
It's like, it's like a big.
We're on fire.
So, Brutal Babe asked another question. Are any of you familiar with? Oh wait, let me put it on the screen. Are any of you familiar with utilizing lucid dreaming to further your insight and skills?
I'm waiting for Rannie to answer.
Oh, okay. Well, for me, it's all of my dreams I'm working. I work with a specific deity who told me that if I'm not working in my dreams, I'm only living half of my life. So a lot of my dreams are, if they're not weird dreams, like I sometimes have weird dreams, but most of my dreams, I'm moving energy. I'm like helping people. I'm working with Lyn, or you know what I mean? Like it's always, there's always something that happens in my dreams. Lucid dreaming, I feel like most of my dreams, while the scenes move, I feel like I'm usually in control of my dreams. I don't feel like I'm like not in control, if that makes sense.
That's a lucid dream.
Yeah, so I usually know what I'm doing in my dreams. And actually, I sometimes meet with Papa Leba and I'm like, let's change the scene. Let's do this. Or can you help me get to this? So my dreams are interesting because it's like, sometimes it's like a movie, but most of the time I'm working in my dreams, if that makes sense.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, she's powerful. She's a powerful dreamer.
I know, didn't you predict a bunch of stuff that you told me?
Yeah, she's a good. Yeah.
I wish I knew when the weird fucking dreams are going to actually be prophetic, though, because sometimes I write things down and I'm like, the fuck? I was just going through my old journal today to find the Amal stuff and things that happened within the past month. I was like, oh, this stuff actually just happened. So weird.
Yeah, I'm not surprised.
Not weird at all.
I'm a full believer in Rannie's abilities in the dream realm, because I that's our stomping grounds. That's our.
You shared the dream with your jewelry. Remember, I had the dream about you selling your jewelry, and then you started selling your jewelry again.
Yeah. I did. Okay, so I have a thing where I love. So since I was younger, let's say, okay, does anybody know the store Claire's? They sell jewelry. Okay, let me get back to that, because I grew up Catholic. So what do they wear? Like medallions, like the miraculous medal, Saint Benedict medal, like as much as they don't believe in the occult, they're wearing talismans.
Right.
amulets. You know, the fact that they use like relics, that's a talisman. As
Yeah.
much as you're like, oh
Yeah.
no, this is not witchcraft. No, 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 no. That's a talisman.
Yep.
Let's define that. But so at Claire's, when I was in high school, I was a sophomore in high school. This was back in Oxnard. So I lived out there for a little bit. And
I don't think I knew that.
where?
I don't think I knew that. I grew up in Camarillo.
Oh, I was right there in Oxnard and went to yeah.
Aw, we were
Yeah.
neighbors and didn't even know it.
I was there for a few months, but I went to the Esplanade Mall and there was the Claire's. And then in Claire's were all these amulets they were selling, the Seal of Solomon, all that kind of stuff. Yes. So they used to
Interesting.
sell occult stuff. Now it's all kitschy kitty stuff there. So I'm a little like, that's too bad. But anyway, I used to just always wear amulets and all kinds of stuff. So I'm bringing that forward again because I think that it's part of our mental health and spiritual health to wear our things, like my tattoos, you know, are like you wear your lingolingo, you wear the ankh. I mean, we have our things. Like I have you can't see it, my crocodile tooth. This was given to me by my aunt, but I used to wear a crocodile tooth as a baby. So
Wow.
crocodile has always been with me since I was very young. So I started making jewelry again with the crocodile tooth and the crystals, the stones, because I'm also I love geology. I love crystals. So I studied geology for a bit. I'm a little nerd. That's okay. We can be nerds and spiritual at the same time. And just creating jewelry, and it's been popping off. Like, this is what I was told I was going to do, is you not only provide the spiritual supplies like the resins, the kamangyan, the Manila Copal, the Palo Santo Suman that my daughter and I created, but also like the jewelries, the things that people will feel comfortable and safe to wear on their bodies if you don't get tattooed.
Mhm.
Yeah.
You should feel safe. You should tell the spirit realm through what you wear on your human body. Like, I am protected. This is your sign. This is your poster board. You know what I mean? Like, and so when Rannie, she was like, I had this dream and I saw it. I went back on our text messages. I'm like, oh my gosh, I
Was
found
that
the
like
text.
2 years ago or something?
It was 2 years ago. And she's like, we're selling this jewelry with the fox of the nine-tailed fox and something else. And then that's when I knew that I was on the right path to be the spiritual plug for people, like through Herbalaria. It's not just the skincare, but it was the spiritual supplies. It was all that, you know, and you teach through that. And you have teachers like Rannie that can really go deep into all that type of stuff that I personally don't really want to do. Like, I love doing artwork and I want to do other things besides that. So there's other teachers out there that can do that for you, but I want to be the plug.
Mhm.
Yeah. I look forward to obtaining some of your jewelry and passing it on to my grandchildren. Like, I already see that being like
Wow.
these magical artifacts that I pass on, you know, like, because I know like the love that you're going to be putting into whatever pieces I get.
Yeah, I do ritual with them. They're here. They go to my Buaya altar, which is right here. I have a canoe prow with a carved crocodile head. And I always do everything with intention. And the fact that you want to pass it on to your grandchildren is such an honor, because everything we do in this world is a legacy. I hope we consider what we gift to community and to the next generations as a legacy to fight against some of these darkness and entities that are really infecting the world that we don't want our children to grow up in, you know, and for however long Mother Earth gives us, because Mother Earth isn't exactly happy with our treatment of her. But, you know, I'm going to digress from that conversation because that's a whole other thing.
It's another episode.
On the next episode.
We're going to talk about how Mother Earth really is pissed off.
She's been pissed off.
Yeah.
Been pissed off.
She's hurt. We have another question, this time from Tater. If I may ask, is it plausible for a medium who isn't truly attuned to do long-term damage? Who isn't truly attuned to do long-term damage to a client while attempting to guide them? And if so, how would that manifest?
Parasites. Oh, in many different ways. Well, I will say though, if that happens, it was meant to happen. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Like if you open yourself up to that, that's a lesson you're going to learn, even if it's long term, right? And then you will be guided to support when it's time for that to change. I've actually had people who were working with me, and then they worked with someone else that was more local, and they were like, this that was felt weird immediately, and I was like, let me see. Yep, parasite on you. This person was trying to attune this lady, and she just felt really weird afterward. And I was like, yeah, there's a thing on you. I'll remove it. And and then what's weird is when I removed that, the guy got even weirder and was like trying to like really invade her privacy and stuff. And I was like, ugh. So I think that guy was, I don't know. Yeah, sometimes it's intentional, sometimes it's not, but it is a thing because you're opening yourself up to another person's energies and things that could be attached to that person. So it's possible, but like I said, no energy before its time. If it happened, it was a lesson you were supposed to learn.
Everything she said, I echo. Period. Yeah.
Yeah. There's nothing that we can't get ourselves out of when it comes to that if spirit actually allowed it to happen, because everyone has a higher self that guides them.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I mean, there are people who actually pass away from shit like that, but I guess that's probably another lesson they're supposed to learn. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know.
I still think they learn on the other side too. There's still lessons to be learned on the other side when they pass over.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
It's like Super Mario. You die and then you
come back.
Wait, Super Mario.
Oh, Super Mario. I thought you said Sicario, and I'm like, that movie with Emily Blunt. I was very confused.
Oh, I don't even know what that is. I'm gonna Google that.
It's a really good movie. It's a movie about the drug cartel. So I was like, confused.
Mm-hmm. Oh, there's a lot of dark magic around drug cartels for sure.
Yeah.
Oh, I can tell you about that too.
Yeah.
Did you want to share?
Oh, I mean, yeah, probably. I don't want to go down that path right now. Yeah.
There are many practitioners that will for money do dark biddings for people. Yeah. So that's why there's a lot around that for sure.
Interesting. All right. So
I don't do that, so don't ask.
Don't even ask.
I don't curse people. I don't do anything against someone's will. None of that.
No. And I just supply tools.
and teaches in people's dreams.
I teach in dreams and I supply tools. Herbalaria.com. Go.
Yes.
All right, we have a question from Enzeru. During the deity selection process, how can you be absolutely sure that you are resonating with the deity that you have chosen and not just choosing them out of admiration for who they are?
Admiration is a start, though, right? And the way I see it is deities are teachers. I don't feel that anyone, unless they're considered a true devotee, I don't think that anyone needs to just stay adhered to one deity unless that's part of your birth religion or your beliefs. But I believe that if one resonates with you at some point in your life, then go for it, learn about it. If it doesn't resonate anymore, move on. You know, you're not stuck. It's not something scary. These are deities. I see people posting or saying things like, oh, this is a deity that gets very jealous and you have to do this. And I'm like, if you use the word jealous deity, you're not working with a deity. You're working with a lower level entity, right? Because deities aren't jealous. They are higher level beings with great emotional intelligence.
Oh, I just want to question that biblical line that's like, I am a jealous God. I always feel that in the old Bible when they say I am a jealous God. And I'm all like, what kind of
makes me so irritated.
Wait, what part is that?
It's in the Bible somewhere.
It's in the Bible. So
ask some Christian. They'll know. They'll know the.
I'm jealous.
I'm jealous. God is a jealous God.
You
I'm
should
like,
fear God. No, don't
yeah,
fear
that's a very
God
Old
or deity.
Testament thing. That whole scare tactic thing. And
Yeah.
then when Jesus came, he was trying to change the narrative to be
Yeah.
like,
And
look,
then they killed him.
and then they killed him.
He was a wizard. Jesus was a wizard, dude.
He was a
And they fucking
magician.
killed him. Yeah, he was a magical wizard with a staff.
I-
And they were like, oh, magic is against the things. I don't know, man.
Against
Which
the
is really
things.
weird because, like, from what I know, before Judaism became monotheistic, they had a goddess, and it wasn't. It was a mother goddess, father god, and they do have mystical rites and type of magical rituals. So I'm aware of that in the goddess circle that I am in. So there, they have it. They have women. They had a goddess, and they X'd her out. So if they X'd out Jesus, I'm sure, because he had a mom that was also very well respected. He had a woman, Mary Magdalene. I know priestesses that belong to the temple of Mary Magdalene. And so there's like, it's a whole other discussion on patriarchy and matriarchy stuff. So
Yeah.
yeah.
Also, I wanted to add on to the question about like choosing or knowing which deity you're working with. Again, deities are we've personified them to make them easier to understand, but again, there's so much more beyond that. It isn't like working with a person, how it's a very distinct body. It's more than that. So like don't get too caught up in the details. Get caught up in how am I growing? How is this experience teaching me and making me a better person? As opposed to who am I working with? What is this name? What is this? All the rules.
Yeah, the name, it never matters really. It's because they're all faces of the elements. When you break it down, there's streams of streams of consciousness related to the basic elements: earth, air, fire, water, the heavens, upper heavens, lower heavens.
Again, so complex.
It's so complicated.
It's so complicated. Keep it simple. Keep your practice simple. Like I have my deities with me. I have my altars in every direction. At the east, I have the south, and I have the west, and I have my north. I do altar maintenance as a priestess. You're supposed to, and then you do just keep it simple. Say your prayers, your intentions, and always have a heart of love, and then listen deeply. And I think that's really a good way to approach with humbleness, humility, and that you're living a human experience.
Absolutely, and that listening is so important. People want to go, but if you sat and you listened, you would receive so much more information than you would find online.
Yeah.
Yeah. We have a quick comment here. Brutal Babe says, how strange. I started smelling bourbon whiskey and I don't own any or have anything that smells like it.
Oh, Rannie.
Papalegba.
Up in there. I got some cigars. We can smoke later. Papalegba. Cigars from the Philippines. I have yet to share with both of you. If you're into that, and we can do ritual.
Awesome. Oh, Adam. Oh, hi, Adam. Adam is one of my Patreon members, and he shows up to all the live streams. He says, I am a jealous God is literally how God justifies thou shalt not worship other gods in the Bible. 2 sentences after saying jealousy is a sin.
Yep. There you go.
Oh, no.
Summed it up. Thank you, Adam.
The Bible needed a better editor.
It's somewhere in there. I'm a jealous God.
Awesome. All right, so we are hitting the hour, so we can start wrapping it up. And if anyone has any final comments, final questions in the chat, now is the time. But yeah, any final thoughts after our very first episode together?
This is fun. This is really fun.
This is so fun.
I
can't wait for us to do actual. My dream is to do the paranormal investigations as paranormal.
It's not just a dream. It's gonna happen. That's gonna happen.
It's gonna happen. So follow us now. Yeah, baby steps.
Follow us now.
We got to make sure that there's, you know,
Follow
that
us
we
now.
are-
You will be the OGs.
You will be the OGs.
Paranormal's
You're
nice.
the early. What do you call them? The early.
Oh, early. That's what everyone freaking comments.
Okay, early.
Notifications. What? I don't know. I sound like an old person trying to connect with the young
So
people.
original.
I'm OG. Yeah.
I say OG.
We say veterano here in LA.
Mm.
I like that.
Like, you're the
Sexy.
veteranos. It's the children. It's like you'll
Yeah.
know where you'll know what crowd I hung out with at the time back in the 90s and early 2000s.
Awesome.
Yeah.
All right. So I don't think there's any more questions. So,
Okay.
oh wait. Oh, here's, I guess, a nice comment. Enzuru, thank you so much for your answers to my question and for the advice when seeking to align with a deity. It is immensely appreciated. Hearts and prayers. Yay. Well, thank you everyone for joining. Everyone who
Thank
left a
you.
question or a comment. We will be doing more of these. Stay
Yeah.
tuned.
Yeah.
Don't forget-
We'll get the audio. The audio is now understood that I'm not supposed to have headphones on.
Yes.
Yeah.
The tech
got
is
it.
figured
I had to
out.
tell the ancestors that. I was like, I knew it. I was like, I don't think they want me to hear this.
But yay, we're glad that wait, what? Oh, sorry, I was reading the comments. Passion Fruit 9, I'm a little shook. Thank you so much for combining your ferocities here. I'm fangirling a little bit. Aw, yay.
Oh.
We love fan. Oh, Alex is here. Akaballs.
Hello,
Excited for the next one. Hi, Alex. All right. And so everyone want to shout out your socials, your websites, where people can find you in the meantime.
Okay. You want to go first, Lynn?
You, Rannie, you go.
Okay. You can find me, Rannie AuGoGo, RannieAuGoGo on Instagram, and then Magic AuGoGo online. And you can book a session. You can take some of my free classes. And yeah, I have other classes that you could pay for, but they're not open right now. So, and that's magickagogo.com. Do I have to spell it? MAGICKAUGOGO.
Can we put that somewhere in the thing?
Yeah, I'll put it in the description.
Yeah, I think I'm just.
Because I don't
going
even
in
know if I
order.
spell it right.
I think I'm just like, I was like, Rannie, you go, because I see you in order of like Sapphire, Rannie, and me. So I was like,
I kind of threw that. I threw that off, right? I should have just.
yeah, it's okay, it's okay. So for me, you can find me on herbalaria.com. That's HERBALARIA.com. And on Instagram, IAMHERBALARIA. That's I am Herbalaria. But then my personal one is Katuuran, KTUURAN_Lyn, LYN. So 1 N. Other than that, it's been really fun.
Yeah.
Yay! And you can find me on Instagram, Sapphire_Sandalo. That's the only place I'm really active on. So, and listen to Stories of Sapphire podcast. And if you haven't listened to Rannie and Lyn's episodes, they've both been on multiple ones, all like my favorite episodes. So check that out if you haven't. And yay, this was so fun. We'll see you guys again next time.
Bye.
Bye. Okay, you guys stay there though. Hang on.
Okay.
I'm ending the stream for the people. Anyway.